Hi guys, this is Jean Holden, producer of the show, and I just wanted to take a minute to let you know where you can find us on the internet. Please go to ThatMan on Fatman.com. There you can find out all the things you need to know about the show. You'll be able to find links to the podcast, to YouTube, to Twitter, Facebook, even Instagram and Snapchat. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Today's show is brought to you by Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee, the strongest coffee in the world.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and I want to urge you to make a generous donation to the Wayne Foundation so we can stop the sexual trafficking of children. Do it, or I'll find you.
And don't forget to check out our good friend of the show, Mark Live, over at chundertunes.com for all your podcast animation needs. ThatMan on Fatman is recorded with a Zoom H6 handy recorder. Zoom for creators.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts use mature language and conversation just like in most of life. If you're too uptight, this might not be for you. All that said, we really do hope you enjoy the show. But if you don't enjoy it, expect a nice big shipment of my joyous Joker juice on your doorstep in the very near future. Toodles!
As the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan, I appreciate the fact that somebody finally made a podcast about that interesting motherfucker. So, yes, you absolutely did the right thing. It was smart. I appreciate it. I think you were right to do that.
Okay, what has two thumbs and is a huge fan of Kevin Smith? ThatMan!
Yes, I am that man.
What are we going to do about the pancake master?
We need a costumed vigilante is what we need. Justice can't be served unless it's being fought outside the system.
Here's what we're going to do, eh?
Oh, shit. It's that man. Who is he? He's that man. He's talking. What should we do?
Oh, there he goes by in the Thatmobile.
The what? That mobile, his car. Go get him, that man.
Well, once upon a time, a regular man read a book written by the Fat Man. Tough shit, written by old Kev Smith. Kev said go out and start a podcast, and so I did, and I had a real blast. But my obsession was driving my co-host nuts. Didn't want to bring the podcast down. Needed Porkchop Murphy to hang around. So I created a new show with one heck of a plan, and I'd call that show ThatMan on Fatman, because we're going to chat about Kevin Smith. That's right, let's talk about old Kev Smith.
Yes, please note that use of all sound effects is done ironically.
Hey, everybody! And welcome to this episode 3-30, our 30th episode of season or year 3 of the show. My name is Scott Holden. I am here, as I am each week, with none other than co-host and producer extraordinaire, Jean Holden, my blushing bride and my 20-year partner under marital contract. That's right, Jean Holden. Welcome to the show.
Why, thank you.
Trying to think of a fancy way to say we've been married 20 years.
Prince Charming, yes.
Oh, yes, I am your Prince Charming. Yes, of course, yes. Because you have no choice. And we all know
the fire rises. No survivors.
So we have a lot of ground to cover today.
We do.
First, okay, our guest, we recorded this last Saturday.
Oh, yes.
We already have let leak, or I've released.
Yeah.
Because I shot some video, but it's not appropriate to release the whole show that way because it require a lot more sound editing and everything.
Right.
But just the general, our big guest is Bob Hawk.
Right.
And he gives a review of the film Shooting Clerks.
A great review.
Yes. And so I know that the filmmakers would want to see that. So I just cut the video and just, released that as a clip.
That was a real special moment because Bob speaks from the heart.
Yeah.
So anything he says, is true. I mean, look what he did to Kevin.
Yeah.
For Kevin.
So for those listening, if you didn't already know, Bob Hawk is the guest today, but also during our talk with Bob, who was here in the studio.
He was actually here.
Chris Bain, who plays Jay, the Jamie Mewes character in Shooting Clerks.
Right.
Is also dialing in, and he's our guest as well. So
our dapper friend.
Yeah. So when you get with Bob, there's always a lot of talking. And there was just no way when I was editing the show that it could just fit in one show. So
we were here for a while. And
yeah.
You just start talking and you lose track of time.
Yeah. So to do it justice and, to do it right, it's Bob Hawk, the esteemed Bob Hawk.
Our buddy.
Yes. Recent winner of the Indie Spirit Award and some other awards that he goes into.
And can I tell you, he being in his presence, it just he came off the train with a big smile and he just kind of floats along. He's just a very happy and content.
Yes. And he's very funny because.
And he's so funny.
For those regulars to the show, they should know you always at least try and listen till you hear the Go Get 'Em That Man. If you don't hear the Go Get 'Em That Man, there could be something else buried at the end of the show.
Right. So make sure you listen to everything.
You never know when there might be that little hidden gem, that little Easter egg.
There are Easter eggs in podcasts, too.
Yes.
Not only movies.
Yes.
There are audio Easter eggs.
They're so hard to hide.
Yeah. You have to listen for the Easter eggs.
Yeah,
you don't see them.
You might actually have to hit the 30-second advance button.
But if you love Bob Hawk like we do, you will do it. It's fun.
All right. And so what you'll notice is that this episode is very heavy on two subjects. One, Film Hawk, Bob Hawk's documentary.
Yes.
The documentary that is screening in New York about him. And the other thing that it's heavy on is Shooting Clerks, the film that we're in that is about the making of Clerks. And so like in the past few weeks, we've announced the screenings, we've talked about them, but the problem is that we've always been sort of like, is it this day or that day? We've always been so now these are the definitive days and times. I want to first, before we get anywhere else, before we even jump into Smedlines or any of that stuff, say that here are the definitive dates for both Shooting Clerks and Film Hawk, and it's planned out in such a way that you can do, should you choose to, you could do a Bob Hawk weekend, Bob Hawk, Shooting Clerks,
right?
Kevin Smith sort of experience over the weekend. So it all starts on Thursday night. That's right, Thursday night, a happening insider local party night in New York City, which is where it's screening. So. New York City?
New York City's hopping on Thursday night.
Yes. It's traditionally it's when the locals go out and have fun.
That's
because it's the day before Friday, and B, it's the tourists tradition. The weekend warriors aren't quite there yet.
So it's their Friday to kind of get away from everyone.
Yeah. So it's and it's a primer for Friday.
Yeah.
So anyway, the party starts Thursday night, November 10th.
Yeah.
That's next
Thursday.
So this show will drop today, Saturday. We got up late and recorded this late. Sorry, we couldn't do it last night. We know we promised, but
yeah, we wanted to.
So, be coming up Thursday, the 10th.
Yep, at 7.
You still have time to get your tickets.
Yeah, and just go to
it is at the Anthology Film Archives on 32nd and 2nd. No, 32nd 2nd Avenue. And it's in New York. So that's the first night. Then the second night is November 11th, of course, which is Friday. And then, so it's Shooting Clerks now in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And it's in the Atlantic Highlands, which you'll hear again and again. Kevin used to go here with his dad. So
now how cool is that? You'll actually be in the town where Kevin grew up.
Yeah, a little bit of history. And for what, I don't know if it's being played up as heavily, but I know for a fact Second Unit shot a lot of the Sundance stuff in and around the Atlantic Highlands cinema. So you're getting a
Like a hometown kind of feel.
Yeah, you're getting part of the movie. You're getting part of the whole experience, part of Kevin's history.
And Kevin even.
So that's at the Atlantic Cinemas,
Jersey boy.
82nd First Avenue. So 82 First Avenue, Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. And then the next day, the 12th, is where we change it up. We go back to New York City for the premiere of Film Hawk. It's the New York City premiere.
Right.
There's been, like double secret private screenings, I guess. Double secret probation screening in the past. But this is the official open to the public screening of Film Hawk. It's at the Cinepolis. I can't even say it. It's like French. Cinepolis Cinema at Chelsea. It's part of the
Doc NYC, and I have a little addition to that.
Oh, okay. Jump in.
Bob actually checked in and said that he had some great news about it, and they're offering a $5 discount courtesy of Newfest.
All right. So again, imparting to you, there are four shows coming up. 3 of them are Shooting Clerks screenings. That's right. 3. That's right. There was sort of a missing screening or a screening that is, even during this interview coming up, there was some question about. So, again, taking it from the top, starting on the 10th, Thursday night in New York City, we have the first screening. Then, on the 11th, we have the screening in New Jersey. Now, both of those have codes, discount codes. They get you 37% off. The New York show, the code is, I'm going to say it, it's all caps, and anywhere there's a space, like where there would be a space in a word, there's an underscore or an underbar, as I've heard them referred to in board meetings. So to get 37%, that 37 in a row, yes, 37% off of the New York screening when you order tickets, which you can do. We've made this all very easy. Just go to ThatMan on Fatman.com. So you will go there, you'll click on, get tickets to the New York City screening. There's like 4 little blocks on the right-hand side. And then you'll type in the code, all caps. So you could throw that caps lock on and type in the _blunt connection. So the blunt connection, all caps. Anywhere there was a space for words, you'll put in an underscore. Yes, it's a very long code. But that will get you 37% off, which
cool.
brings it down to close to like $15.
Yeah.
Then the second night, the New Jersey screening in Atlantic Highlands, the code is, right from the movie, gum, as in chewing gum, as in Chuli's chewing gum, gum _unlock. So all caps, where there's a space, you put the underscore, and gum unlock. That will get you 37% off that screening. All right.
That's a nice
So those are the first
savings.
Those are the first 2 nights, Thursday, Friday, the first 2 Shooting Clerks screenings and the codes that go with them. Again, all this will be on ThatMan on Fatman.com.
Yes.
Then Saturday night, you can see a screening of Film Hawk. And that is the story of Bob Hawk, the man you're about to hear on this very show.
Yes.
And sort of his origin story and why he's been important to independent film and sort of his contributions. It's a really loving and sweet and it's a nice treatment.
It's very dear.
It's a nice movie. You're not gonna you won't regret seeing it. And so you can see that in New York City at the I navigated away from the page and pulling up all that other information. He's at that's the Sinopoli in Chelsea, where I can't say it. It's down on 23rd Street. It's between 7th and 8th Avenue, and you'll get $5 off of that when you order if you type in all caps Doc NYC 16 New Fest. So
$5 off your ticket.
Again, this will be on the website, so you'll know all this, and you'll be able to do all this.
And that's at 5:45.
Make it nice and easy.
5:45, that one.
Again, to execute all of this information, just go to ThatMan on Fatman.com, where we will have it nice and easy for you. And so there you go. Those are the 4. Oh, no, wait. One more. Wait, and see, that's how it keeps happening. It's Sunday. It's the Sunday show.
It's such a long,
It got added. It got added late.
Yeah.
And this is in Jersey City. It's in Jersey City at the Bright Side Tavern. Now, the guy who's doing this is the same guy who did the Atlantic City Shorts Festival.
Oh,
That
yes.
we've been to a couple times. So, and he sort of has presence in the View Askew universe and among the, you know, he's into it, and that's why he was able to get the screening going and
Very
get
cool.
it added. Now, not as many people know about this screening, so please, this is in Jersey City. There's no discount code because it's a $15 thing.
Right.
They're saying get there at 5:45, even though the show time is listed as 6:30, just because everyone's going to get together and hang out, you know, and get primed at the bar.
And meet everybody.
Yeah.
You get to meet the guys.
So that's in
And the
Jersey
gals.
City. That's at the Bright Side Tavern on 141 Bright Street in Jersey City. And again, on our web, just you'll be able to click on this, and it'll take you to the Eventbrite page where you can get tickets.
Yeah.
And we will be at all of these.
We will
screenings.
be.
Yes, we will be.
Uh-huh.
We will be at all of these screenings.
Yep, the fam.
Yes.
And the Jersey one, the fam.
Well, yeah, we're bringing the fam to one show.
Mm-hmm. And then the rest will be there.
Oh, yeah. See, that's weird. Originally, it was like we were bringing the kids to a couple shows. It was like we were dividing them, and then we were like, this is crazy. Why don't we just take them to one?
Yeah, so they're just going to come to the Jersey one. And that seemed fitting.
Yes. So,
yeah, so we can stomp around Kevin's old grounds.
And the cool thing is, we'll get to see the movie 3 times.
I know.
So it'll be like, all in our head.
Yeah.
Well, and after hearing the review, I am very excited.
I'm very
intrigued.
intrigued.
Excited.
Because, you know, there's always something you're like, ooh, I want to see it again because I missed that. Or, you know, so now you know you can see it again the next day.
We'll let you in on an inside joke.
Okay.
Somewhat. Now, Bob is a very busy guy. So he can't keep track of everybody's business, let alone his own.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure he forgot I was in the film.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
And I think there's a moment.
Yeah. And if you don't know that I'm Howard, apparently, I mean, everyone has said it. I don't look like me. I look like a wig and, you know, I look like Howard.
Yeah, but the wig made it.
Yeah. And so I'm playing the wig and glasses. I know that.
But it's almost
I think
good.
so much so that Bob didn't even he didn't remember that I was playing that part.
But that's good then.
Yeah,
you pulled it off.
So when you'll hear it during this interview. I asked him what he thought of me in it. He there is a pause that you could drive a fucking truck through,
You look like the deer in the
even
headlights.
before I make jokes. So, you know, I mean, it's yeah.
Are you going to keep the pause in?
Of course. You know me. I might have even sweetened it up a bit. I might have extended it. It might be 3 hours of pause, you know.
And Bob is so sweet because he just wants to always
be nice,
and know. And
but
say the
during the episode, I kind of throw it out, and then he remembers, and then he's sort of like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like he kind of backpedals.
Yeah, he backs.
But then he realizes, oh shit, I forgot he was in it.
That's all right. See, but that's good then because it didn't sound like you or look like you. Good.
I passed.
You passed.
Yeah. So that's a sign of a good actor.
You made it. Your first role.
I'm a thespian.
Yeah, your first role is Howard Stern.
Thespians turn me on when they make out. It's so hot.
Thespians?
Nothing like a pair of hot thespians.
Yeah.
Rubbing their oily bodies all over each other. I'm sorry.
Oily.
Okay. This
minus
might be
the oil, maybe.
This might be a good. I'm kidding. Obviously, I know it's not thespian.
Unless they're like mechanics, I would think.
Yeah, it's lesbian. Okay. Lesbianic, of course.
Lesbianic.
Lesbianic encounter. An encounter of the lesbianic kind. I love that word.
Lesbianic isn't even a word.
It is now. I made it one. It matters to me.
Lesbian-like.
Yes.
You like it, don't you, Bain?
Of course.
Of course he does.
Yes. He's always going to
dirty boy.
Back me up. Mm-hmm. And Gina's wrong, right? It is not a word.
Yes.
It's not a word?
Impossible.
Yes, indeed it was. It was a double negative. I was catching myself.
Did you mean to do a double negative?
I don't know. All I know is as soon as we turn on the mics to record, like everything happens. People start moving furniture.
They start
I hear
vacuuming.
somebody fucking like I hear a guy blowing the leaves. I think it's next door.
Someone's vacuuming. It's like someone's making a smoothie upstairs.
Oh, it's like fucking A.
And
man.
then someone's using the dust buster. Let's get the power saw.
All right. Well, I think at this time it's a good point to cut over to this week's Smedlines.
And now, direct from the That Cave, we give you the Smedlines with Gene Holden.
Hi, this is Jean with this week's Smedlines.
Oh, you're off to a good start.
So, we found out, and we've known this, that Kevin is directing a Supergirl episode. Well, he's been in Vancouver. I want to say around like the 4th of the month. So he's home now, but it was a huge deal. People were tweeting like crazy, like the people on set were tweeting, "Oh my God, best day ever. I got to watch Kevin Smith direct. Oh my God, best day ever. I got to watch Kevin." Like, there must have been like 50 of them. Like, people just like working there were just like amazed and like entranced.
And apparently it's a big action
I know.
set.
And we found out that the episode will be episode 9.
Yes.
And Harley Quinn will also be in that same episode.
Now, I think I called that. I sound like Donald Trump. I called it. I knew it.
I know.
I called that before it happened.
And you did. Now
I said that would be the thing.
Did you
That
ever
was the worst
say
Donald
it?
Trump ever.
Did you ever say it on the podcast, or did we just talk about it off air?
Sure.
I don't know. I can't remember if we did that or not. But you definitely did say that.
I'll admit it.
It definitely makes sense.
I'll admit it.
Yeah, so, just like the idiot Trump boy.
Right.
Trump monkey.
So even before that, I'm...
Yeah, I mean, to me, I believe I think it was when he got that gig, when he announced it, I said, and I mean, his daughter is age appropriate, so she'll be on.
Oh, she's going to be like, great. She's probably so excited. I mean, God, who wouldn't be?
She likes that James.
Oh my God. So do you.
I can't think of his last name. God, James Olsen.
Yeah.
I'm so used to Jimmy Olsen back in the day.
He's in your top 5.
He's in my top 5. Although I ranked him in the wrong spot just because of the heat of the moment.
Yeah, but they always move around. Depends on what kind of mood you're in.
But Benedict Cumberbatch would have been closer to like, I would have reversed those two for sure.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of, we're going to see Doctor Strange tomorrow.
Now,
there was a time in my life, man, where I would not have
waited.
Yeah. But I've become very good at shutting out media when I want to.
Yeah.
So I just have to shut it out for a couple days.
Yes.
Because tomorrow morning, first thing,
we'll be there.
And it stinks when you have friends like fucking Joseph, Consul Magno from last week, who got to go to the special screening because he is a Marvel guy.
He and Kevin and Mark Bernardin.
Yeah, well, not they went together.
I know.
But Mike and Mike.
Mike and Mike did.
Yes. The 2 Mikes, 1 Mike.
Those 2 brats.
They got to go.
And
they encouraged. They weren't raving, but it's hard to hear a rave in a text or in a text medium.
Oh yeah, unless it's like exclamation
But he definitely
point.
said, you owe it to yourself. And what I already knew, this is the introduction of magic into the Marvel Universe, which is a challenge because it's the introduction of magic into essentially our reality.
That's so cool.
Because the Marvel Universe is said to take place on our reality.
Right.
Granted, a different one because...
I'm so excited.
Different timeline, if you will.
Anything I see... Well, there's so many reasons why I love Benedict Cumberbatch, but anything I've seen him in, and I've said this before, but if you have not seen The Lord of the Rings, like the making of... He puts himself in like 1,000%, like he's in the role. So I can't wait to see this.
What was cool about the behind the scenes is he talks about how his father, like he told Peter Jackson that he felt like he had a leg up because he was taught by the best, meaning his father, who read to him as bedtime stories, The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, but didn't just read to him. His father was one of those guys who was into the rings and so therefore did voices.
He acted it out.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
So he was essentially doing his father's Smaug.
Listen,
when he was doing it.
I will give you a personal example. That
I know Kevin Smith fans hate The Lord of the Rings if they're true Kevin, but we love it anyway. We don't care. You can love both.
Someone like that, I swear to you, reading, like even...
Ask Chris Bain. Sorry. I just know he's The Lord of the
When
Rings.
someone does something like that, it makes an impression on a child, on a kid.
Yeah.
Even in school.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It's acting. Definitely.
Okay, so we also have some cool stuff to listen to. In the most recent Smodcast, Kevin interviews Stan Lee and also Men of Marvel, and that's episode 362.
Yes, episode 362.
Yeah.
It just dropped, I think, yesterday. And, well, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's out. It dropped. It says it's October 31st.
Yeah, so check that out.
That's been out for that many days?
Yeah.
I got to check my feed because my feed is not updating properly with this shit.
So, another Flash episode is coming up November 22nd.
You know what it is? I bet you it's the SoundCloud stuff. I bet SoundCloud, I think, releases a day early for theirs if you listen on the SoundCloud device, which I hate. Sorry, my own personal thing. Speaking of that, we should. Well, I'll save it for after the commercial.
So Kevin's Flash
after the news. Sorry.
Kevin's Flash episode will be November 22nd.
It's 7,
and that's, episode 7, I believe. Killer Frost is the name of the episode.
How
cool is that?
So he's got the big
the reveal. He has the actual
crossover.
reveal.
Well, I mean, they've been boiling, they've been teasing it. Like we've been seeing more and more that she has the Killer Frost powers.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And he's been saying that's a big action blockbuster, a big fight, cars turning over. Or that was Supergirl. But same with Flash.
Right. Well, it's more so than his last one because the last one was not action-packed.
A lot of action.
Right.
Again, this is good training for Kevin. Maybe someday he'll have the confidence to feel that he could do a superhero movie, should he feel he wants to.
Right.
I don't know why we all have to keep pushing him into doing it.
I know, but why not? Because
it just seems like it would be a good fit.
Because it's something
but he himself has said, I don't like it. I just want to watch him.
Right.
But yet, now he's directing TV shows about him.
Yeah.
But I get that too, because TV is fast.
Right.
TV, like everything, a movie takes forever to make. TV shows, they pump them out.
Right.
You know? So, and that's the way Kevin likes to work. That's why he loves podcasting.
But I think we get excited because we also, we're fans of Kevin, so it's what we want to see. We want to see him direct it because it would be, would be awesome.
Especially with, what was it, Flash lost a director? The big budget Hollywood film.
Yeah.
Universal.
They lost him. So
no, not Universal. Is it Universal who does?
That I'm not sure of.
No, Warner Brothers. Sorry. I don't know where my mind went. Warner Brothers, who does DC.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they lost the director for the Flash movie.
Yep.
I'm not sure what happened, but I guess more will be revealed. I think they should get Kevin, but hey, why not?
Right.
But Kevin would just pull Grant Gustin in and...
Oh my God, wouldn't it be the best?
And then it would be a crossover with the TV show.
That would be the best.
So, yeah, maybe Kevin will, although I doubt it. Again, I feel like the only good thing to come out of the new DC universe has been Wonder Woman. I'm looking forward to that movie.
Me too.
She's very sexy.
She's wonderful.
I can watch her do all that stuff on screen. She looks great in the outfit. She was the highlight of Batman v Superman. So anyway.
I agree. She's stunning.
Yeah, and
so staying in with the podcast world.
The last bit of
so
news
what do you
for
think
this morning.
Of Blowhard? You like
so
it?
Yes, episode 2 of Blowhard dropped. I liked it a lot. I mean, again,
Jay and Malcolm.
First of all, love the theme. I played it to you. I mean, I was like,
it was really cute.
I was so excited too. It was a great idea because on the first show, the first episode they recorded together, almost as a goof. Like he goes, all right, so we need a theme, and then Jay's like sort of fills it in like as a placeholder, and just goes
right,
and essentially rips off Mallrats. He takes the Mallrats theme.
Yeah.
So then for their second episode, they'd clipped out that audio of him doing that. Yeah, and someone put music over it and just melded the two together in a way that was genius.
It's really
I
good.
thought. Yeah.
Well, and Jay loves...
And it's organic. It's part of the show.
Mallrats.
I mean, it came right out of the show.
And he loves Mallrats.
And it's not... It doesn't come out... It doesn't end up being the Mallrats theme. It's its own thing.
Yeah,
it's almost more Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's his own thing. Yeah, it's cute.
Yes. And they even end up it ends up with a buyback,
Right.
which is Jay. So.
Yeah. It's nice that they're back.
And the other thing was they delve more into, and I'm glad that they're talking about it. And now, again, I want to have Malcolm back on the show because when Malcolm, it doesn't matter. This cat never does this. We come on the air and then suddenly he's playing with a chair.
I think it's a full moon or something.
Yeah.
Something
So anyway, when we had Malcolm on, there was bits of wanting to address, is he in? Is he out? Because we had heard all kinds of, things from various people. After having him on, I'll bring up Marco. I remember talking to Marco, and Marco distinctly telling me that, as far as he knew, Malcolm was, quote unquote, out of the fold.
Right.
Persona non grata, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So, and I remember that being feeling like a very mixed, look, the fucking dog's going nuts now. Never happens.
Well.
Yeah, there's some full moon or some shit.
Yeah.
It's because all the Shooting Clerks stuff next week. Yeah, so they start to talk a little bit about there was a big fight that did put Malcolm in the outs. They don't talk about all the details.
Right.
But apparently Jay was involved in that. There was a misunderstanding between him and Jordan and that kind of thing. So when Malcolm was on our show, it was hard to address that.
Right.
But I guess because what was going on was Malcolm was mending fences with Kevin at the time. Wasn't quite fully back in, but was making his way back in. And now that has happened.
But he has so much love for Kevin.
Yeah. And
that
our
show is oozing with.
Yeah. It's a great, I love that episode.
Such a good friend.
One, it's a great episode.
It really
Two,
is.
it's now it's even becoming more insightful retrospectively.
Yeah.
And it also, that's what kicked off What's a Podcast documentary.
Right.
Because when Malcolm came in and sort of walked us through documentary filmmaking, I was like, I can do this. I know I can do this.
Yeah.
So. And I owe him a debt to that. And I'd love to have him back on.
Yeah. They would be able to tell him that too.
Yes.
That would be cool.
Hey, I know he's got something to promote.
I know,
Blow
right?
hard.
So that's the Smedlines.
This has been the Smedlines with Gene Holden.
And there you have the Smedlines.
That's
As
me.
if it wasn't just us making a cut and inserting music. Hey, the mystery has been revealed. The secret's behind peeling back the curtain. All right, so a good time now. We can cut over to our guest at hand and talk a little bit about having Bob here. Let's see. It seems like it's an annual thing.
It is.
Originally, I went back and looked. The first time he was on was October, November, I believe. So now, and then I think last time was December.
Right.
And so this time was...
Yeah, it's definitely like a...
It's becoming he's our annual guest.
A fall, winter type of guest.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because...
It is.
He ain't getting any younger, folks.
No,
although
he's not.
He believes he's indestructible and will live forever. And
But his attitude is great.
Yeah, is that of a young person still.
Yeah, he's feeding and loving all of this.
Yeah, he's
this attention.
Yeah, and this was very good for him.
And being around all this life and lively people, he's
getting the celebration and recognition that
he's very invigorated by all of this.
Yeah, that he really does deserve.
He does.
He's one of those guys in the, moving in the shadows, if you will. Most people don't know him unless you're Kevin Smith people.
Right.
To which then you owe him a debt of gratitude for just essentially introducing everyone to Clerks. So anyway, it's a long interview. This will be part 1. Next week we will have part 2. There's going to be a lot of talk of, again, Shooting Clerks and Film Hawk. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about the screenings a lot. So if you don't have that through your thick head yet, we'll bang it home some more. And don't worry, because we're going to bang it home after the interview.
Again.
And of course, we're also going to talk about our favorite subject, after the interview because I feel it's our social duty, and that will be the election.
Oh,
So
yes.
I'm sure you'll want to stay riveted because you love hearing about that.
I know.
Anyway.
Like you haven't heard enough.
All right, folks. Maybe I won't say anything. Maybe that'll be your break, but it's hard not to.
It really is.
All right, so here we go.
Okay.
Third visit from our friend Bob Hawk.
And now, here's our guest.
Bob Hawk has returned for his annual visit. And looking at how many times you've been here, this is your third time.
Yes.
And it seems like about a year apart, roughly, give or take. And this is actually a good time because you've had a hell of a year since the last time you were on.
I've had a year different from any other. This is the year of Film Hawk.
Yes, it has been.
Now, Film Hawk is the name of my business. One word, but a capital F and a capital H, but no space in between. But there's a documentary about me called Film Hawk, and it's 2 words. And in 2017, it had its world premiere in January at the Sundance Film Festival. So since then, I've had quite a year, and it began with that. And it took place, the world premiere of Film Hawk took place at 8:30 a.m. And it was...
At Sundance.
At Sundance. And it was a sizable audience. But what made it very special was that Kevin Smith...
Who's that?
Who...
Never heard of him.
who was at Sundance with Yoga Hosers and I believe had a late night screening the night before.
Yes.
Got up and even did a little red carpet before the 8:30 screening.
Okay.
And he co-introduced the world premiere with the top man at Sundance as far as, the director. I don't know what his title is. I've known John Cooper forever, but he is the head of the festival, the programming, everything else. And I've known Cooper. We all call him Cooper. I've known him since 1988 or 89 at Sundance. And he would not usually introduce a program at that early in the morning, as far as I know. But he was there, and they co-introduced it. And by the way, this is on YouTube. Introduction that they gave at 8:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's on YouTube.
Is on YouTube.
Got you.
And you can watch it, and I believe you're going to provide...
Yes, I will all the links will be provided.
Yeah, we'll provide all the links.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll be attached to both this show.
But they both got a little verklempt. They were...
Yeah.
They got emotional, and it was quite thrilling. And anyway, that's how it all began. Why was it at 8:30
a.m.? Yeah, I was going to ask that.
On a Sunday morning. It was not any accidental...
I was going to say, isn't that the Clerks time kind of thing?
No.
Because wasn't they screened on a Sunday morning, Clerks? It was like 11, though.
I think it was the 10th or the 15th anniversary, or the 20th. I don't know. But the Sundance Film Festival has had a queer brunch, which is quite an auspicious gathering of queers. And there are a lot of queers at Sundance.
No.
But there is this queer brunch at a restaurant right across from the Prospector Square venue, which is where Film Hawk had its first screening. And the brunch is at 11 a.m. And so they slotted Film Hawk so that there was this screening and the Q&A, and then people could just walk across the street to the queer brunch. And Film Hawk is a rather queer film, because I'm rather queer.
No.
Yeah. But
do you talk about that in the movie?
Yes. I talk about lots of things in the movie. And Kevin, other than me, because I am this main subject of the film, and there are a lot of people who also are in the film, but Kevin has more screen time than anybody else but me.
He opens the film.
He opens the film
beautifully.
And he's there in the middle of the film, and he's there towards the end of the film. He is an integral part of the film. And so, anyway, I might insert right now the fact that finally, after a year of Film Hawk screening around the country, it is finally having its New York premiere.
Which is like, wow, because it's taken such a long time, and you are a New York guy.
Right. It's our hometown screening, because the majority of it was filmed in New York, and some of it was filmed in Red Bank, of course.
Yes.
And some of it
Which
was...
is all I ever see now when I watch Chasing Amy.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, I love Chasing Amy now, if only for that, because there's so much Red Bank in it. It's like, I've walked that street, I know that street. You know, it's like,
It looks so different, too, though.
But still, so charming.
So you know, it also, some of it was filmed in Delaware, because the filmmakers who have been on this show, J.J. Garvine and Tai Parquet,
yes,
they are the filmmakers.
Very good guys.
And they're from Delaware. And
they're both from Delaware.
Is it Delaware or Maryland?
Delaware, yeah.
Delaware.
I can't think of Baltimore or something.
But one of the scenes in the film is actually in the greater Baltimore area.
Yes.
You guys were going
but it's
Divine.
But it's in Towson.
Okay.
It's called Towson, and I visit Divine's grave.
That's right.
Ooh, you're getting a spoiler.
And I plant a pink flamingo that you stick in the lawn, and I talk about underground and subversive and queer film, and John Waters and a lot of other people.
Amazing filmmaker.
So we went on location a bit, but it's definitely a New York film, and on November 12th, Saturday afternoon at 5:45, a great screening slot, because all those people who like to sleep in can sleep in and still make it.
Yes.
But on Saturday, November 12th, it is screening, and all the details will be also provided on this podcast, but the link is to Doc NYC. Doc NYC is the largest documentary film festival in America.
That's awesome.
And I am so honored to be a part of it, and we'll be able to provide a direct link to the Film Hawk page in their catalog online, and it would be great to have in the audience some diehard, gung-ho Kevin Smith fans.
Yes.
Well, I think the chances are pretty high, because a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
One, we started promoting this last week because we've been talking about Shooting Clerks a lot.
Yeah.
And then Gene got a message from you saying that it was okay now to talk about the premiere of Film Hawk. So So we have the Shooting Clerks event preceding it.
Yes.
So there will be a lot of Kevin Smith people.
Yeah, it's like the 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's like the whole weekend is
involved in that show. So
the 10th, 11th, and 12th is quite
a Kevin Smith
a
laden
Kevin
week.
Smith lineup. And I'll talk more about my experience with seeing Shooting Clerks. I was at the world premiere in Orlando, Florida, just a couple of weeks ago, or was it only?
Was it last weekend?
It was last weekend.
Was it 22nd?
I have lost all sense of time. I've been, but just so you know, early on November 10th, after its world premiere in Orlando, Shooting Clerks is in New York City at the Anthology Film Archives at 7 p.m. And the following night, on November 11th, it's at Atlantic Highlands.
Twin Cinemas
at 7 p.m. also. And these are, although I think it was a single screen when Kevin was a kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But this is the theater,
one of the movie
where
houses.
Kevin and his father went to.
I know it's
and saw movies.
And we also we also shot second unit there. They shot second.
Yeah.
They shot second unit there. I say we because I was one of the extras. I was one of the background players, as I say.
So anyway, it's extraordinary the way this has worked out here in November. 3 days in a row. First, a screening of Shooting Clerks in New York, then a screening of Shooting Clerks in North Jersey, in Kevin Smith's hometown.
Yay!
And then on Saturday is Film Hawk, featuring Kevin Smith on Saturday. And in Orlando, we were a double feature.
That's right.
The Orlando Film Festival screened Film Hawk. There was a Q&A afterwards. There was a break. We had red carpet carryings on. And then the world premiere of Shooting Clerks, and I moderated the Q&A for Shooting Clerks. So it's very incestuous almost. But what a great bunch of guys. I was amazed at what Shooting Clerks turned out to be, which was a very affectionate, even subtle film.
Really?
That was a real homage to the spirit of Clerks. And it had an amazing sensibility and sensitivity. For anyone who knows Clerks, is going to be a feast. But it's really, I didn't expect anything as complex or subtle.
Wow.
It is very entertaining.
So you're saying it's not a bunch of gags strung together.
But it isn't trying to hit you over the head.
Yeah. I like that.
It's really a tribute to what I have learned is Kevin Smith and his spirit.
Yeah.
Which is also, I must say, in the doc about me, Film Hawk, there are sides of Kevin that I don't know have ever been on screen before.
Okay.
You will see Kevin be all of himself and his humor, but also his very sensitive side.
I hate to interrupt, but I have a very important question.
Yeah.
How am I in it? Notice the pause, a long pause there.
So
he's like, were you in it?
We're on Facebook Live right now, and Scott just asked Bob, was he good in the movie? So this is Bob's reaction.
There was no reaction. The reaction is dumbfoundedness.
He doesn't know what to say. Because Scott...
no, I have no judgment because
if you blink, I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there. The reason I pause is because there isn't really anything to say. I'm sorry. Oh fuck. Oh,
it's okay. You can
Can
say you can say whatever you want. This is a Kevin Smith podcast. Remember?
I can say fuck.
Yes, motherfucker.
Okay.
Fuck. I'm not in it.
No, you are in it.
How about this?
But
Here's another question: is Vinny in it? Did they leave Vinny's cat scene in it? Like him asking about the cat? Do you recall?
yes.
He's in it?
Oh, Vinny is very much in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I'm right behind him as an extra.
Oh, that's how you're there. Well, you see.
Well, I'm also Howard Stern, so.
Oh, Howard Stern, yes.
Yes.
Well, the hair was wonderful. It's totally impossible to tell that it's you.
Yes. Which is good acting. Then.
It's all about the hair. The hair was great.
Yes, the hair and the glasses did all the work. That was my take.
I knew who it was immediately.
You knew it was Howard. Well, thanks,
Oh,
Rob.
God. You could have a whole Clerks, Kevin Smith, Bob Hawk weekend.
Yeah. We could even include Chris Bain.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Who joins us now
He is.
very quietly from.
Oh, Chris. Hi, Chris.
I slowly snuck him in.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
He's so cute.
Have you been listening to all this?
Only a little bit. He only caught the tail end of what you're saying.
Yeah, I just came in.
Because you'll be able to hear it when you listen to the podcast. I've already talked very lovingly about Shooting Clerks.
He has indeed. He said it's very much more understated than he thought it would be, and much more loving. Yeah, and much more tender, I guess would be a good word.
Affectionate.
Yeah, affectionate. Thank you.
It is a true homage to the spirit of Clerks and Kevin Smith.
No, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Bob. We were really excited to have you at the screening, so I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
And for those who don't know, who are just joining us and listening, Chris Bain plays Mr. Jason Mewes in the film.
Oh, and boy, is he spot on.
And he's not lying, because he was on about you in the car, man. This is true. From the car ride over.
On the car ride here, he was...
not everyone in the film tries to imitate, which is good. But you, as an actor, were able to nail Jay so accurately. You really caught him to an amazing degree. And it isn't like it's just a cheesy, two-dimensional impersonation.
Yeah.
It is actually authentic, and you really nail him. And it says something about you as an actor.
No, thank you. And I remember when we spoke at the screening, I remember you said, you said very similar things after watching the film, and it meant a lot to me, because we had people there that were fans that thought I did really well. But for someone like yourself, who knows Jason and Kevin very, very well, and you said that you lived with them for a while.
Well, I lived with Kevin. For 2 years, and there were times when Jay was in the room right next to me.
Yeah.
And I saw Jay in all kinds of
states
and times of day.
Clothed and
in the kitchen, in the morning, and sprawled out at night sometimes. And, of course, Jay loved to show...
I was going to say...
his junk.
He's notorious for doing that. So I was going to ask if he did, yeah. So
yes. I love Jay, and I'm so happy that he has grown into a man who has not lost the spirit, but has lost some of the spirits, so to speak, you know.
Yeah. And is now, incidentally, podcasting with Malcolm on Blowhard 2.0, if you will.
Malcolm Ingram.
Yes.
Who I knew when he was sleeping in a sleeping bag in Kevin's garage.
And now Jay has a Tesla.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to tell me what a Tesla is.
It's like a real high-end electric car, like fully electric car. But from is it Musk?
You see, you have to realize
contextualize
that I have chose in my early teens never to drive.
Oh, okay.
Never to get a driver's license. Never to own a car. Never to be responsible for other people's lives. Yeah. Either in the vehicle I was driving or other vehicles in my vicinity.
Yeah, there's a very high-end electric car that's being made in California. Okay. They're in the news a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he has one.
And I'll tell you just one thing about that and that decision is that when I was 14 or 15 years old and my dad took me on the back roads to teach me how to drive, and it was stick drive.
Yes.
Manual
transmission.
I already knew that I wanted to live in New York City for the rest of my life, and I said, I don't want to drive. I'm going to live on the island of Manhattan for the rest of my life.
Now, I'm trying to get back there.
Yeah, so... and of course, I've lived all kinds of places, but I've never driven. I've never had a driver's license, and I've never had car payments or insurance. Anyway, that's a little side thing to the Tesla, but I don't want to take away from Chris's presence.
Are you driving a Tesla yet, Chris?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Maybe
He's
Jay will
planning
get you
on
one.
it very shortly.
Maybe one day.
Chris, probably before you came on, I have plugged your 2 screenings coming up.
Yeah,
November 10th and 11th. And I've also, of course, plugged.
And he'll be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have a conflict for both of those screenings, and I'm pissed off.
Yeah, that's right.
And of course, I've also plugged the screening of Film Hawk on November 12th. And so I told people they can have a full Kevin Smith weekend.
We're going to be at all 3 events. So.
Oh, great. Yeah. Wonderful. So
it'll be fun. It will be fun. I'll be flying in on the 9th, and I'll be at both screenings. I think we've got another screening on Sunday as well now.
This is amazing because you just completely, he didn't even have to ask. He told you how well he did. When I asked Bob how well I did in the movie, he did like this. So, there you go.
That good, right?
Yeah, no.
Chris.
He stared at me like a cow looking at a new fence.
Chris, are you in Scotland?
Yeah, right now. I'm back home.
Yes.
And you sound like you're right next to me.
Yeah.
If only we could transport you here right now.
I will be here soon enough.
All right, let's close our eyes, everyone.
Okay.
So, what are your travel plans, sir?
Yeah, I'll fly in on the 9th, and I'll be in New York until I think I fly back on the 14th.
Oh, wow, cool. So
you mentioned a screening.
I think they've I was speaking to Chris Downey, director, today, and he told me that there is a screening at the Brightside Tavern, which is in New Jersey somewhere. I don't know where about, but it's on. If you go on the Facebook, it's on their Facebook.
There's an added screening of Shooting Clerks, but it's on Sunday the 13th.
It's on the 13th, yeah.
Right. And
because I can't go to that one.
And the other screenings are on the 10th and the 11th. The screening of Film Hawk, and I don't want to compete with Shooting Clerks, is on the 12th.
Right, yeah.
So, good. that's a relief because I don't want people to be torn.
So who all is coming from the film? From there, from Scotland.
So
or the UK.
We've got a fairly similar crowd to who was in Orlando. We're going to have Brett, the producer, Chris Downey, the director, James, producer, myself, Steph Price, who is Lisa Spooner in the film, Jay Booten, who plays Dave Klein. We've also got Ashley Graciano. We've got Jay Booten, who plays Dave Klein, and I think Dave Klein's going to come to one of the screenings too, which is pretty cool.
That'll be awesome. We've been like, Gene's been his pen pal for like over 2 years now. Like he was one of the first people from the View Askew universe to agree to come on the show.
I know.
Yeah.
We're like best friends.
And he still hasn't come.
We're best friends, but we never met.
Yes.
but sooner or later, everyone in the View Askew universe ends up on this program.
I hope so.
I hope so.
And
yeah, they should.
It's so much fun. Come on, people.
You know, sometimes it might be harder to get, like, say, Ben Affleck on the show. look at Bob's over there nodding.
Yeah. By the way,
but what's amazing to me is he's eligible. You know what I mean? Like, who was it the other day that I realized? I'm like, oh, Will Smith. Will Smith is eligible. Try and get Will Smith. Because he was in Jersey Girl.
Will Smith is in Jersey Girl?
Yeah, remember? And it's just a little scene where he's sitting there waiting.
Oh,
going for the job interview.
It is a cameo.
Yes, but that counts. It puts him in the universe.
Yes,
That's all that matters.
One thing I want to mention, I had a great brunch in Orlando with the director, Chris, and the producer, Brett, and also Jay Booten, and the guy who plays Richard Linkletter. Anyway.
Oh, Dan.
I didn't realize it. We talked for 3 hours.
That's what they said on Facebook.
We had a 3-hour brunch.
Yeah.
And it was so great. You guys, you as a group are a wonderful group of people. I mean, I just had the greatest time because you guys have soul, you have heart, and it shows in the movie and in real life.
Yeah, well, thank you. We really appreciate that, Bob. As I say, we enjoyed having you there. We're really excited that you enjoyed the film. And I guess the reaction that we got from you and everyone there was better than we expected. I think we're gonna see you on Thursday when we come over.
You are?
Uh-oh.
No, because
I was led to believe.
For brunch or something? Because I remember somebody said something about it.
I'll have to check my calendar about Thursday. I know I can't be at the screening.
Yeah.
But, I don't know what time you're landing or where you're staying or anything. So let's communicate and see if we can see each other because I would love to see you guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think
while you're
here. I'm staying at the Ritz, I think.
The Ritz?
The Ritz-Carlton?
Yeah, I think so. I'm staying with
nice.
James, who's one of our producers, and he sorted out the accommodation, and he said we're staying at the Ritz. And I was like, well, you get no argument from me.
Whoa.
Good for him. I guess he had a budget.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
I hope it's the right Ritz. I hope it's not like the 172nd Street Ritz,
Ritz
on the east side.
Yeah, that's the Ritz, R-I-T-S.
Yeah.
The Ritz crackers.
Yeah, the Ritz crackers.
It's just a big cracker box.
Yeah.
So, Chris, I'd like to ask, do you have anything else going as far as have you shot any other films that are coming our way that we should know about?
One thing about Chris, he's actively trying to parlay this stuff into a real career.
Yeah, I've been professional for maybe just over 2 years now. So I'm doing bits here and there. Most of the things I've done aren't out yet. As you know, with the film industry, it takes a while for things to be released. Yeah,
but he does play a real character. Mm-hmm. I mean, a person who is real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got.
No, I just wanted to know if there's anything we should be looking out for.
Yeah, I got a couple of films coming out. I got a film, indie. It's another indie film called Breathe Easy, and that's coming out next year. I play one of the lead roles in that. It's kind of like a disaster film, but it's unique in the way that it's filmed in about, I don't know, maybe 20 countries or something like that. The whole premise was, because when you watch a disaster film, it's usually set in one, it's a worldwide event, but it's usually set in one area, localized in one area. So the director wanted to film it in as many locations as possible, which I think in turn has mean that he's actually broke one of the Guinness World Records for filming. I think it's a film that's been filmed in the most locations or something like that.
Yeah. Wow.
So he's ended up breaking a Guinness World Record with that. So that'll be coming out. I had a small part in some sort of zombie apocalypse film that's coming out I think January or something like that. But everyone else has just been short films, web series, commercials, stuff like that. So Shooting Clerks is probably the biggest thing that I've been in, to be honest with you.
But then you play
the attention it's getting.
Didn't you play, who the heck was it? A scientist or?
Charles Darwin.
That's it, Charles Darwin.
Yeah, he plays Charles Darwin. That's so cool.
Yeah, that was like I guess it was kind of like a dramatized historical video sort of thing. Again, it's not something you'd be able to watch. It was like a part of an educational program, and you'd have to buy it to watch it.
Yes, but it's still cool. I mean, you can claim you played Charles Darwin.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It was a good project to be involved in. It was all green screened as well, which is quite interesting.
By the way, this Breathe Easy, since it was shot all over the world, is it apocalyptic, like the end of the world type of movie?
Or disaster?
It's kind of, yeah. I mean, it's all about kind of big gas clouds gathering.
Oh, I'm familiar with those.
Gas clouds.
Yeah.
Major, gathering above major areas of population, and then it drives everyone a bit insane. But it's, it's one of these films where it's very tongue-in-cheek.
Gotcha.
But it's nature farts.
Yes.
Yes.
It's shot on location in nature.
Tagline. For sure, that would be a good tagline.
So what was your perspective, Chris, of the big screening on the 22nd? As someone who had to travel all the way here, like, what was your experience like?
Well, I mean, it's funny that the only places I've been to in the States is Orlando and New York. So it's funny that I'm coming back. I've been to Orlando again and New York, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, the whole event was great. Holly and Dan and Jerry and Jose, everyone that put the event on, it was fantastic. We had a great time, and the screening itself was great. I think we had, it was kind of near capacity. The reaction from the audience was fantastic. That was one of the things I was really looking forward to see how people reacted to it in the actual screening, and everyone seemed to love it.
So, it exceeded expectations in that respect?
I think so. Because you always have I suppose with any film, you have the...
Yeah. Bob is vigorously nodding.
It really exceeded expectations.
That's good. That's very good to hear.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, as an actor, you think, how is this going to transfer? Are people going to enjoy it? And then for an individual perspective, you think, are people going to enjoy my performance? And not just that, but are people going to buy me as playing a real person? So there was a lot of that riding on it. But then, everyone really enjoyed it, and people were really nice about it, really positive at the end. So yeah, it was great. Really enjoyed it. I don't think it could have gone any better.
All right, we want to take a moment to talk about Death Wish Coffee. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor and get over to deathwishcoffee.com. And there you can buy the strongest coffee known to man without a prescription.
The world's strongest coffee. ever.
Yes, as proudly displayed on my wife's sweatshirt over there.
Yes, on my body,
Yes.
on my mug,
Yes,
on
it's
my
on my mug.
K-cups. Not
Yes, and you'll know them by their telling sign of the skull and crossbones.
It's
that tells
so
you
good.
exactly what you're in for. It's that used to be the international symbol for poison, but now it is the symbol for good damn coffee.
It's awesome. Without milk, with milk, you don't really need it because it's strong.
But
It's
not bitter.
Not bitter. So you don't even need milk. You don't even need sugar, but you can add it if you'd like. It's just really, really the perfect, strongest, most awesome coffee.
Become a junkie of Death Wish, just like the Anderson Council. And
we got them hooked.
again, deathwishcoffee.com. Thank you very much.
Enjoy it.
I want to take this time to mention to you www.audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. That's right, www.audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. That's one word, conjunctified. Go there, sign up for your free 30-day free trial. Sign up, get a free book. A free audiobook, because you don't have to go through no tedious reading. You don't have to turn no fucking pages. You don't have to do any of that bullshit. You get in your car, you put on your headphones, and you are listening to a book. You're taking a magical journey into a fictitious land. You're expanding your mind, all when you're stuck in traffic. Fucking amazing. Audiobooks. These are the wave of the future. And you can get in for free for 30 days. A free trial. And when you get your free trial, you can download a copy of Tough Shit by our Savior, Kevin Smith. That's right. Our Lord and Savior, Kevin Smith, has left words for us to follow in our lives. And we can get it for free just by signing up to audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. That's right. audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. Thank you. Please sign up. You'll be very happy you did.
When Kevin talks about the first time his movie Clerks screened at Sundance, he got goose pimples and all that stuff. Anything like that? Any physical, did you swoon? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I might have wet myself.
There we go.
If that counts.
That's all we need.
No, I mean, I think there was a couple of scenes, there's a couple of scenes that got really good reactions from the crowd, and I had a couple of goosebumps watching that, Yeah. So, it was fantastic, Scott. Really, really enjoyed it.
I have a feeling does the Jay character pull any emotional punches? Like, does he kind of give?
I think, Jay's kind of a little bit comic relief.
Okay. Okay.
But there is a couple of small scenes where there's a little bit of emotion, not much, but there's little subtle hints of emotion between him and Kevin, which I think works.
Because that's the first thing Bob said. Because it was like not that it was it wasn't a hammed up performance. It really had emotional resonance.
No, that's it. Because someone said to me on the night. I was speaking to someone, and they were saying to me that you could have just played him as a stoner.
Yeah.
A typical stoner character.
Yes.
But I tried to make it real. And as Bob said, I try not to. You don't want to imitate too much because you don't want people to think, oh, he's just pretending to be Jay from everyone's seen Jay in the films. But I was trying to make him three-dimensional at the same time, and there has to be a bit of emotion in there. So I think I did okay. And again, I've had a lot of plaudits and whatnot, so I appreciate all the kind words from everyone. But it was difficult. But the whole film, not just me, the whole film is the culmination of really 3 years intense, hard labor, and getting the whole thing together. And it's not just me; it's everyone. It is really an ensemble piece, and without one person not pulling their part, the whole film wouldn't have been as good. So it's a testimony to everyone that took part. Really.
Is Mark coming? Did I hear Mark's name mentioned?
No, Mark's not been able to make it, unfortunately. It's
sucks.
a shame because it would have been nice for him to be there.
Yeah.
But he unfortunately can't make it.
Yeah, Mark Frost is the one who plays
Kevin.
Yeah.
How was his performance, Bob?
His performance was interesting in that he did not try to imitate Kevin.
Yeah, I got that because I've seen some of his other stuff.
But
as Kevin,
somehow the soulfulness of Kevin, the real down-to-earth Kevin, was there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of interesting and I think a good choice.
Yeah.
The only thing about Chris's performance as Jay is that he was able to give a fleshed out performance with some depth, but yet he also was able to, as I say, really nail certain specific things that are very Jay-like. But yet, it's very interesting that this film is really honoring the overall gestalt,
wow,
the vibe of the world of Kevin Smith.
Which is so awesome.
Which is sometimes called the View Askew-niverse.
Yes.
But I mean, I think the choices were wise. Some people did not try to imitate, and I've complimented Chris about the fact that he was able to be accurate as far as Jay is concerned more than some people, but it went beyond that, you see.
Yeah.
But I think it was very wise. Jay is more of a character. Kevin is beyond. It would be hard to imitate Kevin, I think. And so Mark Frost chose to just be real.
Yeah.
And he had some of the look, but he wasn't trying to look just like Kevin either. It's a very interesting film. I'm interested, Chris.
Yeah.
I am fully aware of how long this was in the planning and the making, because I was in communication with everybody who instigated this from the beginning, and at one point when Nick Cornwall was maybe not able to play me because he plays me. I'm in the film. I'm portrayed in the film too.
Yeah.
But when they thought he couldn't do it, someone called me up and asked me if I would play myself, and I said, "Well, no, that's weird."
It's not. I mean,
an actor.
It's a weird film,
it. But anyway, I have been following this from the beginning, and I'm very curious. And in all that 3-hour brunch, I really didn't have an opportunity to ask this. And of course, the director, Chris Downey, was there, but and you wouldn't ask him, but a director always creates a climate, creates an atmosphere, and I'd be interested in your take on. It seemed like he created a climate in which all of you could really function highly in a vision.
Yeah, because it's a period piece.
Well, essentially, yeah.
So I just wondered if you wanted to say anything about the experience of all working together, and was there a vibe that you were able to feed off? Did he create a safe space for all of you to be cohesive and on the same, the same
just quick note too.
Wavelength.
To say that I was looking back in our notes, and April 12th, 2014 is the first time we had Chris Downey on and introducer of the film to this show. So it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So Chris, I'd just be interested in anything you had to say about the filming of it and what it was like.
Yeah, I mean, it's I had already known Chris for a little while when we started to do Shooting Clerks, because he was looking for someone to play Jason Mewes in a short film that he did, Get Greedo, which was specifically about Jason's heroin addiction. And that's when I met him. He auditioned me for the role, and I did that with him. So I already knew Chris before and already worked with him a little bit. And it's always been kind of quite laid back in the way that he kind of, not too laid back enough so that you kind of forget a little bit that you're working and you really enjoy just performing. I know it sounds kind of pretentious to say that, but you don't think, oh, I'm on a film set, I need to get this right. You know, you want to, there's an element of that as well, but I guess because I knew Chris already, I was quite laid back with him, and anytime we're on set, it was just, we always just had a lot of fun. And I think because we were having a lot of fun, we could just really relax and really get into character and, you know, mess around a little bit. As I'm sure they did that when they did Clerks originally, you know, so there was that kind of element to that sort of vibe. So for me, it was very laid back, you know, really relaxed, and it meant that I could just fully try and immerse myself into the character. I didn't have to think about anything else, you know. And Chris is the good guy in the way that, you know, if I wasn't happy with a take, he'd be like, yeah, let's just do it again, you know, and he'd be just do it again until, you know, he was happy that I was happy, and vice versa. But he's just very easy. For me, he's very easy to work with, you know, because I wouldn't consider him as a director. I'd consider him as a good friend, you know. And that might seem a little bit cliche to say that, but I've worked with him so long now. I just really enjoy working with him, you know, because as much as I enjoy performing, and I really do, working with him it's just fun, and I just have a lot of fun working with him.
Oh, that's
so awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, we've had him on a couple times. He's a great guy. I mean,
yeah,
he did a Clerks commentary with us.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed being a part.
Yeah,
and that's been, from my perspective, I mean, I was just a big fan, and the fact that that you guys were doing this, that someone was doing this, was amazing to me, because if you've seen Clerks and you've seen the snowball effect, you know that is a great story. The story of the film is just as good. The making of the film is just as good as the film. So, I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer, and I was very excited to get involved. And I mean, it was so weird because it's like it's being made in Scotland. But, you know what I mean? But, yeah, they were fan, you know, and I got it completely because, you know, the podcast and everything, I'm the audience. So, and getting close to you guys, and then eventually actually becoming a part of the film, and then eventually getting the Howard thing was to me so amazing, because, I mean, he was such an influence in my life. And so, like, I'm honoring one hero and playing another hero. So it's amazing to me.
Yeah.
It's a bonus. So I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited.
I know. And to meet you guys. That's what I'm excited about.
That's the fact that you guys are all coming, because I figured you probably, you know, on the 22nd, you're done. You know, we spent all our money, we're not coming back for it. But it's good to know that you guys are coming back for the New York and the Jersey.
Well, I originally wasn't going to come I just thought I can only really make one, and I wanted to go to Orlando for the festival. But then I got speaking to Chris on, I think, the last day, the day we were about to leave, and he was just like, why don't you just come? And I was like, I've been looking for an excuse to go to New York again anyway. So I was like, I'll just
great.
Come. Why not? It'll be good. So, I'm looking forward to going. It'll be good to meet you guys too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, it's very cool.
Very excited.
Get you down in the cave.
Are you coming to the screen?
We're coming to all of them,
Yeah, we'll be there.
Both of them.
No, it'll be good to meet you guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Too
bad Bob won't be there.
Yeah, because I want to see it again, and of course I will sooner or later. But it just happens to be Doc NYC, the festival that Filmhawk is in, opens on the 10th, and I have certain obligations. So
of course,
you know. So hey,
we understand.
I know.
Fuck you. No. Fuck you and your movie. I got more important things to do.
The Shooting Clerks guys liked Filmhawk a lot.
What was that?
Really enjoyed it. Yeah, really. I found it very interesting. You know, I didn't know loads and loads about you, so it was really insightful. You know, to see that. and I find it really funny as well.
Yeah, there's
really
some good
funny
moments.
and
Oh, there
but,
are laughs.
Yeah.
Thank God there are laughs. And there's also a few times when it gets...
A few?
There's this amazing moment where Bob is on a bus and he's talking and he doesn't know he's on mic and he says...
Grab him by the pussy.
It was amazing.
That's a spoiler.
He was talking about Tic Tacs. I don't know what's going on.
I don't ever say grab them by the pussy. I might say stroke their balls.
Yeah, because he's a ball man.
But I stroke.
He's not a pussy man.
I don't grab anything. You don't grab.
No. You cajole. You
caress.
Yes.
Yes.
Sweet talk.
Yes.
You caress and you stroke. Yes. You don't grab and pull anything.
Just
grab him by the pussy.
Thank you.
Get that, Trump? No grabbing by anyone's pussy, okay?
Yes.
And don't stroke it either while you're at it.
Of course.
Or caress it.
Oh, God.
So, Chris,
Yes.
would there be any interest in you actually playing Bane?
Playing Bane as in Gotham's Reckoning.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I think if Bane was a skinny, paced, dark, if there was a reimagining of Bane like that, then
like the Riddler,
potentially,
essentially.
Yeah. I mean, although I don't know how he would be very threatening if he was like that.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of Scotsmen popping up in fantasy of late.
Yeah.
In Star Wars, there was a guy.
Well, I think because of his name, you thought of it.
Yeah.
Because his name is Chris Bain.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how I figured it out, you think?
I think so.
Wow.
You did a good job.
It's always funny when you explain jokes.
I find they're funnier when you have to explain.
Yes, over-explain, especially. If it takes 30 minutes to explain a joke, that's when it's really funny.
No, I mean, I would love to do something like that, but I guess it's just time. I think hopefully with Shooting Clerks, whenever it's actually released, should help me get a bit more exposure, and then hopefully I can get a bit more work on the back of that. But I'm doing okay just now. Obviously, like any actor, you like to do better. I think if you're comfortable, if you're happy with what you're doing, you're probably not doing enough.
Are you big on social media? On the social medias?
Yeah, I just started using Facebook too. I mean, I'm very big on Twitter. I love using Twitter. I've just started using Facebook.
Yes,
So-
and
That's right. You popped up and asked everybody.
I've enjoyed you on Facebook. I have a question. Do you have a website?
Yeah.
Yet?
I don't know. The only kind of sites that I have are casting sites. The big one in the UK is Spotlight. So I'm that.
Okay. Because I just want to ask, do you have
Yeah.
a reel yet? A reel of
yes.
scenes?
Yeah, sample reel.
I have a very basic show reel, which you can actually find on YouTube. If you literally type in Chris Bain show reel, it will come up. I'll be honest with you, I'm not too keen on it because it's very limited. Because like a lot of things, and again, as you'll know, Bob, a lot of things in the industry, and again, I've only been doing it 2 years. You have to wait for certain footage, and I've probably got 3 or 4 films I'm waiting on receiving.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they're good, and I know they're good scenes. I know, I think in all of them bar one, I'm the lead, so I know I've got a lot of footage, and I'm just waiting on that. And once
you're
I've
on
got that, I can
IMDb,
beef
of
my
course.
show reel up.
Actors always have to wait till footage from films they've shot is available to put on a reel.
Yeah.
A demo reel. Yeah. I always call them a demo reel. But, Chris, when you have that, when you get all the footage that you have so far and are able to put together a reel, be sure and provide a link on both Facebook and Twitter.
Oh, I will for sure. It's just waiting on it, as you know, Bob. It can take a while, which is it's just one of these things because I know I've got some good footage and I really, really want it so that I can show it to people. But the reel I've got just now, it's okay.
More importantly, though, go register chrisbain.com while you get the chance, especially before this drops.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should.
Yes.
Yeah, you really should. You really should. I mean, even if you don't stand up a website tomorrow, have that registration, because that's key. I mean, it might not be there. There might be, obviously, Chris Bain is, it's not the most popular name, but it's not uncommon either. So
yeah, there's a few of us on IMDb.
Yeah,
there's a few.
Or you could always go with that Chris Bain, or it's Chris Bain, like you do on your Twitter
on
handle.
Twitter, yeah.
Yeah. So if it's taken, but you definitely should get yourself registered. Especially now.
Yeah. No, I think for sure.
I'm a big pusher of that.
It's something that I need to look at.
Yeah. I'm a pusher wherein, like, I'll say register your kids like now while you can, because in the future that's going to mean something. That's like collateral. It's it's your place in the universe. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, as goofy as that sounds, I mean, it's everyone. You think online's going to go away anytime soon?
Chris, I have a question. I have no idea how old you are. You say you've only been doing this for 2 years.
Yeah.
Were you fresh out of school, or was there a period in which you were doing something else before you pursued acting?
You're doing that interesting Scottish perform. You say the name every time, and I forget it. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
No, your comedic background, if you will.
Oh, stand up.
Yeah, but you.
Oh, so you did stand up?
I did stand up for about a year. Found it incredibly tough. To be honest, Bob, I worked in a day job for I don't know, maybe 7 years. I'm 29, so I know I look a lot younger than I am.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so I was 29. I was 29. I am 29. I was working just in an office, and I don't know, not doing things here or there. I used to sing a little bit in clubs and stuff like that, and then I did stand up for a bit.
You weren't like a Scottish street tough character on stage or something like that? Did I forget this? Did I misremember this?
What type of character?
Like a Scottish street tough?
Oh, no. Yeah. I did videos. Okay. So I used to write and act in these sort of, I say they were viral. Now, I think the definition of viral is something like 30,000 views. It's not many. So we were, by the term, we were viral, right? And we made these videos where I would play like a kind of Scottish, I guess you like kind of like a thug, but they were comedy sketches. And
isn't there a term for it for you guys? What do you guys refer to it as?
Neds.
Neds, that's it. See, I knew there was like a term.
Yeah. Which apparently stands for non-educated delinquent. So I played a Ned character, and where I'm from, Edinburgh, in Scotland, they got quite popular at one stage. And then I just stopped doing it. I don't know why. And then just focused on stand-up for a little bit. And then I did acting here or there. And then it was when I did get Greedo, where I played Jason Mewes for the first time, and we started to film Shooting Clerks. I, at that point, made a decision. I said, I'm going to do this now. I'm actually going to pursue this as a career. And then since then, I think I've come a long way. But, I'm still getting there at the same time. But, I'm doing... I've come a long way in 2 years, I would say. For sure.
What'd you say?
Is Guido on YouTube?
Yeah, get Greedo is. It's not Guido, it's Greedo.
Oh, I'm sorry, Greedo.
That's okay. Yes, as in...
I've got to check that out.
It's not... I'll give you a disclaimer, right? It was the first sort of professional acting I'd done. So if I'm being honest, like a lot of actors, very critical of my own performance. I don't think my accent's very good, and I think my performance is pretty hammy as well.
It's a nice warm up. Plus, you have that wig with the Vaseline in it or whatever that looks like really bad. Yeah. So.
With the Vaseline.
But I mean, you can see the core performance there. Wow, everyone's dying. The allergies in here.
We are.
I will say
we need cough buttons.
I think watching Shooting Clerks now and seeing it, last week, I'm a lot happier with my performance in that. I think my performance is a lot more rounded. I think it's just a lot better overall. Get Greedo, it's nice for what it is, but I just think if I'm being honest, I'm not that happy with the performance. So, But
Well, it's the old you needed Get Greedo to get to Shooting Clerks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I'll tell you what, right? Very quickly, I got a lot of... if you watch the YouTube video, there's a lot of comments. There's something like 500-600 comments. And a lot of people were, really complimentary towards me. A lot of people weren't. They either loved it or hated it. And I suppose the good thing about that is that I took all the negative comments and used that and really worked on my performance for Shooting Clerks. And I think maybe without that, I might not have worked as hard on it.
So you used those negative notes.
I needed that, yeah. I needed that too, and I think that helped make my performance in Shooting Clerks, as good as it was, without being big-headed. But I needed that to make it better. So,
well, I'm a consultant to screenwriters and filmmakers, and I'm known for my honesty. I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. I am very frank, and people thank me, not always right at the time I deliver some rather severe criticism, but they thank me sometimes the next day or the next week or the next month or a couple of years afterwards. They say, I so appreciate your honesty, but I've been in show business for a long time. I did theater for years before I ever got involved in film. And unless it's a vanity production, you were brutally honest because you're all working for the same purpose. And one thing about theater is that you have those weeks of rehearsal and then previews. And in film, you're kind of shot out of a cannon. Although I think the most important thing is to not only have a script fully developed as possible, but have some table reads, and don't shoot until the script is at a certain point. But I grew up in the theater, and boy, nobody spared anybody else. We were all working to make it as good as possible. And negative criticism, if it's positive in that the criticism is because the person delivering it cares about the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want excuse me, you don't want haters because
Haters have got to hate like the douches have to douche.
Thank you.
That was Guy Lapointe.
My name is Guy Lapointe.
Oh my God.
And there you have part 1 of Bob Hawk and Chris Bain on the show. We hope you enjoyed part 1.
Hey.
Next week, we will hear more about Bob's experience over the past year, what he's been up to, and all that kind of fun stuff. So come back next week for that. Now, here is another really positive thought when you come back for part 2. The election will be over.
Yes.
We hope. We hope the election will be over. Now, folks, I mean, it's been said. They said it last night on Bill Maher. They said it, on many shows. This has been the most fucked up election I've ever experienced. All right, everybody. So the main point is to go out and vote and show everyone that our silence, for the most part, that silent majority has been because we don't need to yell and scream like jerks. All we have to do is go in and vote, and the overwhelming, quiet resolve to vote in someone who's not fucking crazy. We won't have to worry about nuclear bombs or Russia or fucking grabbing pussies or whatever else that's going to come out about this guy once he becomes president. Because finally someone said it on some show, I'd love to see all the Republicans' emails.
Just do it.
I hate all this. We sound too political. It's so annoying. We sound like a bunch of fucking goddamn Chicken Littles or something.
I don't know what's going to happen if he gets it.
All right. Well, I don't want to fucking harangue the audience. And
You know what to do.
The good news is we only have 4 days of this as we record this.
I know.
So only 4 days left. In the future, if you're listening to this, you'll have already known the outcome.
I know.
Which is interesting. Time capsule.
Yeah, it's only a few days.
I think to break this up, a good way we can wash the Trump out of our mouths.
Yuck.
Is with Tesdy Groupie's Pick of the Week.
Okay.
Here it comes. ThatMan on Fatman presents At Tesdy Groupies. Tell 'em Steve Dave. Pick of the Week.
Hi, and welcome to the TSD Pick of the Week. As I said not very long ago, and as the 100th pick approaches, sometimes it can be harder to choose a TSD episode. And not for lack of awesomeness. Something not very hard to find in any TSD or TSD related episode. But because I start thinking of picks already taken. I am not much of a run-through listener. I like listening depending on my mood. So my mind tends to wander to certain episodes. How are we going to do this week then? Easy. Let's not choose an episode, but something full of episodes, of that TSD awesomeness and great moments. And to do so, let's go right now to this week's pick. TSD 150, and on the 8th day, got cancelled I Sell Comics. This time, it is Q the one doing the intro to this clip show continuation of TSD 143, as not all could be fitted there. So we pick up where it was left, and we start listening to segments from episodes 52 to 75. After that, there are segments from Packnuts, a must for every TSD listener. Because even if they may be a bit old, you know Sandy Jeff will be there. So it's just gonna be amazing, and this segment is a show of it. After that, there's a segment of Overkill, and as a special bonus, a small segment from the Space Monkeys UK tour. That I still hope it is released someday. And this almost 3-hour-long episode ends with some more segments, including Making Hate 2 and the Domino's Story. A great episode to carry with you, as it always makes for a great re-listen. So, I hope you re-listen to it, I hope you enjoy it, and you're all the way.
And there you have Miss Tessie Groupie's Pick of the Week for the last week of America as we know it.
Oh,
boy. It will be forever changed after this election.
It will be.
But no matter what, the one thing that you will have to look forward to, whether whoever is president, part 2 of Bob Hawk and Chris Bain.
Yes.
That show will appear on this here program.
Yep.
So you'll have to come back for that. And also remember that if you, the weekend of November, well, it's not even the weekend, it starts Thursday, November 10th, and really goes all the way through the 13th. There's a whole bunch of screenings of Shooting Clerks and a screening of Film Hawk. And if you want to go to any of those events and make it a whole cool Kevin Smith experience, there's going to be guests from the movie, guests from Clerks. I know Brian O'Halloran's going to be at several of the screenings, or a couple of them. I know Scott Schiaffa is going to be at least at the Jersey one. And
Ernie will be at the Jersey. The comic book man will be there.
Yeah, the comic book man. So it'll be like a big tour de force.
You know who else is going to be there? The little smoking girl from Clerks.
The smoking girl, because she's in the movie. So yeah, a bunch of stuff going on. It'll be a very Clerks weekend. Yeah. And then, of course, Film Hawk the next day on the Saturday. Yep. And then, of course, Sunday you could top it all off by seeing it again. Because there's a good chance you'll like it and may want to see it again. So then you go see it in Jersey City.
And then you can look for all those Easter eggs again.
Yes, and all of that can be easily accessed. All the information, all the codes, all the stuff. And if you remember, Bob mentions a couple of clips during the show today.
Yep.
All that stuff is available online on the website.
Right.
It's also, you see links on your very podcast device. They should be there in the description.
Yes.
So please check all this stuff out. Right. Get tickets. You'll have a good time. And we look forward to seeing you there.
Right.
Until then, you guys are smart and good.
Smart and good.
And we'll see you next week with Bob Hawk, Part and Chris Bain Part 2.
Yep. Bye,
Laters.
guys.
Staring out in space, looking for an angel smile and praying for some faith. Thoughts are drifting through my mind and filling it with fear. Is there something else out there, and just why are we here? Then I see the world will turn and we must be its guide. Dreams and nonsense schemes, dawn comes, we must reply. Powers from our mother earth, they'll blow us to our knees. While our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. Reading moments one by one and smirking like a thief. Sleeping through another night and deepening our peace. Genesis and matter's wake is coming from our sun. Living in this very moment, for this moment's done. But now I see the dawn will come and we are all its guide. Crazy dreams and nonsense schemes, the Godhead in the skies. Powers from our mother earth is all we'll ever be. While our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. As we worship at our shrine, bursting flowers into bloom, there's no such thing as time. Powers from our mother earth will blow us to our knees. Twisting, turning, minds are burning, join us if you please. And now I see that I am just beginning its demise. Flashing bits of comic light that vanish from the skies. Powers from our mother earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls combined as one, come join us if you please, if you please. If you please. If you please.
There he is. It's that man standing over Blood Alley Square, protecting us all.
I'm one hot dude. Oh, you have a very phallic mic.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
A big black
It's a big
dick.
black dick. Isn't that the best?
Story, but, like,
It's a long story.
That mic.
Well, this is a chubby.
I told Scott, I said, that's perfect for Bob, that microphone.
A chubby? Yeah, because that's about all I can
Gene would
get
frequent-
these days.
Go get him, that man.